What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at a brand new Link monster coming out of Code of the Duelist called Topologic Bomber Dragon. And damn, that attack though. This dude is not playing any games. 3,000 attack currently makes him the strongest Link monster in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as just statistics, I still think that Firewall Dragon is the freaking king. And very similar to Firewall Dragon, not only is it a Link 4, which I believe makes it our second Link 4 monster, but it's not even a dragon at all, despite the fact that the word dragon is in its name. Surprise, this is actually a Cybers, just like Firewall Dragon. So I don't know if that's going to be a trend with Konami naming things dragon and then they're not dragons. It goes all the way back to Cyber Dragon and, you know, like Breaker the Magical Warrior, who's a spellcaster or whatever. So looks like this guy is going to be an ultra rare in the OCG. I'm gonna say probably 90% he's going to be an ultra rare in the TCG. I think that just about every Link boss monster, just like they did for like the Zexo era, expect all of these cards to be like ultra rare. Expect the boss Goki, the Great Ogre, to be ultra rare. Expect the boss for Tricksters, the Holy Angel, Firewall Dragon, like they're all going to be ultra rare. I think that Konami's focus for these sets a lot of the times is going to be making sure that the links are like the ultra rares. Maybe a couple of them might even be secret rares. And before I jump into this card, I think that they are taking links very seriously. If you guys look at how many freaking links are in Code of the Duelist, like there is a fucking lot of them. I think we're up to like 13 or something like that. And I remember when Generation Force kicked off the Zexo era. I remember when Duelist Genesis kicked off the 5Ds era. Those sets had maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 Ixie and Synchros in them. Nothing like this. I mean, if you just look at the Star Girls, they got, what, 4 different Link monsters? So Konami's not taking this Link thing very lightly, and you're seeing that they are pushing out tons of Link monsters. So I guess they're trying to give one for everybody. And I also think that's why that we will eventually see like Link 6 Samurai and like Link Lightsworn and shit like that. So this is a Link Dark Cybers. 3,000 attack, the cursors point, or the Link cursors point up and then down in every direction. It requires a minimum of 2 effect monsters. Effect number 1, if a monster, except this card, is special summoned to a Link monster's link point, which just means like, you know, summoned in this zone, summoned wherever your cursors are pointing, basically. That's the new term, link point. Destroy all monsters in the main monster zones. Also, this turn, other monsters you control cannot attack. This is an interesting effect, and I say that because it can be activated on both players' turns. It is not optional, it's mandatory, and since this guy, one of his link cursors points towards your opponent has to be very careful, because if they special summon into that zone, they might end up losing their whole field. Now, I would recommend that you keep this guy in a link zone, otherwise he could blow himself up with his own effects, so you know that you probably don't want that happening. Effect number 2. After damage calculation, when this card attacks an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. I think I like this effect a lot because it really makes good use of its 3,000 attack. Essentially, if you attack any monster that is lower than him, you're always going to do 3,000 damage to them, which is a lot. If you happen to attack something like a Dark Magician, you would get your 500 damage, you know, because of just raw battle damage, and then you get the effect of burning your opponent for the 2,500. That is the Dark Magician. Now, it is the original attack, so if things like Tenki are on the field, you know what I mean, it doesn't really take that into consideration, but obviously this looks like a big, giant battering ram that maybe people will probably, I mean, I don't know, I think that things like Call of the Haunted and Back to the Front Lines, Oasis of the Dragon Souls, cards that summon during your turn could be pretty interesting with this card. Like if your opponent does a pendulum summon from their hand and they pendulum like 4 monsters, and you activate Call of the Haunted and you special summon a monster back to this guy's link zone, and then you basically just nuke the entire board, and the fact that all your other monsters can't attack doesn't really matter because it's your opponent's turn. So I think this card is actually pretty cool, and again, I like the focus that Konami has had with Link monsters. I like the fact that they're pushing out like a dozen of these motherfuckers in the first set, because that makes me think by a minimum the 3rd set we're basically going to be getting the Exitons and the Evolve Chains. Probably by the next set, guys, we're going to be getting some Mighty type level stuff. We're gonna get probably some really broken ones by the next set after this, because they're just making so many Link monsters. So you guys let me know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already.